This is Tracy Zamora's speech on cults. Her audience is Todd, Sharon, Caleb, and myself, Lisa. I will be videotaping.
Hi, my name is Tracy Zamora, and today I'm going to talk to you about cults in our society. I remember in 1989, Pierce was in the football playoffs and it was Halloween night. I remember this particular playoff game very well because there was a rumor going around that there was cults in the town and that the cults were looking for a sacrifice on Halloween. So the game had tight security, cops were on full alert, and there was a curfew after the game. Was there a true cult that night? I don't know, but no sacrifices were made. According to the International Cultic Studies Association, copyright of this year, researchers estimate that at least 2,500,000 Americans have joined cultic groups in the past 30 to 40 years. Cults are in every country, they're in every state. Cults tear families apart. They infect them for years after they may get out of the cults, and they have been here for centuries. Cults go back centuries, and the definition of cult is not something that is taken lightly. It may, to some, the definition and examples of cults may surprise you from what you normally are thinking about, like satanic cults. Egan Hunter's article, Adolescents' Attraction to Cults, defined cults as a group movement exhibiting an excessive devotion or dedication to a person, idea, or thing. They are unethical, they manipulate, they persuade, and they control to advance generally the leaders of the cult. According to the article Satanic Cults in History, in the 1930s, there was a cult started called the Brotherhood of the Golden Arrow. It was founded by a member who actually believed in Lucifer. They were sick of the romantic period of that time, and so they started believing more in Lucifer and starting that kind of a movement. They would spread their word through newspapers and books. Also in 1948, Our Lady of Endowment was founded by Herbert Sloan. Actually, as a boy, he said he was seen the devil in the woods, and he believed that the devil was talking to him. What he said was that the devil was produced to the Garden of Eden to Eve to actually show her the true nature of God, and that they should believe that Satan was actually the God. I'm sure you're wondering how cult leaders are picked, how they get people to follow them, who are some of the peoples that start these cults. In the Top 10 Topia website, updated in February of 2013, they had given a few examples of some leaders that produced some cults. This is a picture of David Koresh. He actually started out as a Seventh-day Adventist. He was expelled from the Seventh-day Adventists because of his radical beliefs. He then started the Branch Davidians. The second picture I'm holding up is Marshall Applewhite. He started a group in 1970. He actually had a near-death experience where he believed God came to talk to him. And he said that he was actually a missionary or a spokesperson of God. Working Psychology website's article, Cults, Questions and Answers in 1997, most cult leaders are narcissists, they're very intelligent, and they're great manipulators. The article's Cults, Questions and Answers say there are 4 types of cults. 2 of them are pretty well known, the other 2 not so much. The first well-known cult is the religious and psychosocial cults, and an example of that was actually David Koresh and the Branch of Davidians. That began in Waco, Texas. They believed the end of the earth was coming, and that they then created a compound to defend off people because of the end of the earth. Koresh told his followers that God spoke through him, and the bad thing was he was sleeping with underage girls. Well, the government got wind that he was sleeping with underage girls, and then they came in and raided the compound, and that was in 1993. It was a 51-day standoff. Several people were killed, including Davidians and government and FBI workers. And this was all covered on CNN Live 24/7. If you've ever heard of the saying, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," that's from the People's Temple cult, and this gentleman here is Jim Jones. He actually started out as a Pentecostal pastor. He just carried the Pentecostal religion to another level. He moved his group to Guyana. He had many political leaders that were actually interested in his group or had some ties with his group. And a congressman from the United States went over to go visit him in Guyana. Well, for some reason he had a disagreement with some of the followers, and then they had shot this congressman. Well, Jim Jones, knowing that the law would be coming over to get them for killing the congressman, convinced 900 people to drink Kool-Aid, what it was Flavor Aid, mixed with poison, and they had a mass suicide. The next one I'm going to talk about is Marshall Applewhite. He is the one that created Heaven's Gate. He created this with Bonnie Nettles, his nurse, after a near-death experience. He had 39 members in his sect. They believed a spaceship was coming, and they were following a comet. They all wore black, and they all had armbands on, and this is what they looked like when they found them in their bunkers. There are some commercial and political cults. I'll give you a few examples of that. Lyndon LaRouche Jr., this gentleman right here, he actually created a youth movement, and the website Political Research Associates article, Linda Lush, Man of Vision or Venom, in September of 2007, he states that he's a political activist, he's an author, he has many followers that he spreads his word with. Some of his beliefs are that AIDS was created by the government to kill all gays. And they also don't believe there are global warming, that is just a myth. They don't believe in Greenpeace, and they don't have any association with ecological groups. Another group that might surprise you, that's the Amway. Many people consider this a cult because of some of the teachings that they have. They recruit, which in the way that you move up into the sect is if you recruit, you bring more recruiters, you move up, that person brings in more recruiters, it moves up. They have tactics like cults. They target on people that are missing something in their lives. They provide emotional support to that person. In fact, one of the things that they do is they supply books to members to show how wives should serve their husbands because they feel that women are just subservient to men. In the psychotherapy.net, article Psychotherapy with Former Cult Members states that several former cult members experience post-traumatic stress disorder. They suffer depression and anxiety. They try and bring them back into society and the norm, and they have to be updated on the newest technology. The history of many of them are unaware of the history that went on. They have to reconnect with their families. They have insecurities because they've always been told what to do. Something they have to learn is emotions to come back because they have been programmed into only having certain emotions or only feeling a certain way. They also end up going into treatment houses, into a controlled environment until they can go back into the population. I'm now going to give you a few examples of some people, some celebrities that actually were involved as cults as children. The ABC News article from Sheila Marker, Rose McGowan, more stars who grew up in cults, actually was in the Children's God sect, and they believed in free love. And this is Rose. They also believed in prostitution. They had no contact with the outside world, she stated in this article. And men would have sex with much younger girls. That's when her father got them out of the sect before she was exposed or molested by those men. In that same cult, the Children of God sect, Joaquin and River Phoenix were a part, their family was a part of that sect. In that article, River had been quoted as saying they lived in poverty, they lived in shacks, and they would run around naked often because they didn't have clothes. His family did leave when they saw that sex was used to bring in new converts, and actually then his family became Christian missionaries. You may think only crazy, lonely people get involved in cults, but many normal, educated, innocent people can get sucked into cults by nothing other than smooth-talking, narcissistic individuals. They use these people for their own false beliefs, and this type of activity has been going on for centuries, and I'm sure it's not going to end anytime soon.